Welcome back to another episode of Bramblewick. Last time we designed a canal-like waterfront with a harbor, and honestly, it turned out way better than expected. Pedestrian-friendly streets hugging lush parks, a beach and canal walk lined with fancy stairs. It's basically Britain meets modern design at a posh seaside resort. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. The Bramblewickers are loving their fresh modern architecture. We're building on that success by expanding this district with the same vibe and finesse.
In a city teetering on the edge of collapse, two visionaries stand at the crossroads. The mayor of Bramblewick, Henri Lancaster, believes bold expansion is the key to salvation. He envisions gleaming skyscrapers and bustling markets to pull the city from its slump. Opposing him is Governor Jean-Claude Camaquis, the authoritative governor of Barry's Island, who warns of impending disaster if resources aren't managed carefully. Their rivalry boils over as Henri demands rapid construction in the heart of the city, while Jean-Claude pushes for cautious rebuilding to stabilize infrastructure. Tensions rise when both leaders focus on the Azurvé Peninsula, a pristine land offering both opportunity and risk. Henri dreams of transforming it into a bustling hub of commerce, while Jean-Claude fights to protect its fragile ecosystems. The citizens are split and the debate reaches a boiling point. After much deliberation, they finally agree on a lush area that blends both the past and the future, enriched by expansive park spaces to honor both the past and the future. This collaboration balances growth with sustainability, proving that unity can pave the way for a brighter future.
If you're enjoying hanging out in Bramblewick, now's your chance to shape the future. Engage. Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments. Hit like or dislike, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch every new episode. Your input is the secret sauce that makes this city thrive. So let's dive in and get to work. Before we break ground, it's important to take a moment to plan out the layout of this peninsula. This space is going to be a stunning blend of residential, commercial, and recreational areas, so sketching our vision directly onto the terrain ensures we're balancing functionality and aesthetics. Starting with a rough sketch gives us the flexibility to adapt as the build evolves while keeping the overall vision intact. We're envisioning urban promenades buildings hugging the canal, acting as a vibrant gateway. Between these blocks, parking will add a practical touch while visually dividing the spaces. Moving inward, we'll add some height with UK flats and anchor the peninsula with a central park that offers open green spaces for everyone to enjoy. The lower left corner will host another promenades block alongside a charming hotel and UK town center shops for that traditional touch. To top it off, we'll create two custom parks in the upper left and lower right corners, creating unique recreational hubs for different parts of the peninsula. That's the game plan. Let's see how it turns out. The first step in bringing our plan to life is laying down the basic road network. I'm starting with a central spine road that will serve as the backbone of the peninsula, providing easy access to all the key areas. From there, I'll branch out with smaller roads to create a natural flow. By keeping the layout simple at first, we can focus on making adjustments as the other elements come together. The goal here is to build a road system that feels organic. There's no point in making complex design choices when it all comes back to firm intentions and focus. Now that the roads are in place, it's time to bring the peninsula to life by adding our first buildings. I've chosen urban promenades mixed-use buildings for this area because they bring a modern yet versatile look that fits well with our vision. By placing these in 4 square blocks near the canal, we create a smooth visual transition from the previous episode's canal build to this new space. The buildings will act as a gateway to the peninsula, inviting people in while tying the two areas together. Let me just say, urban promenades are one of my favorite assets in this game. They're like the Swiss Army knife of buildings, great for residential, commercial, or just standing there looking awesome. By clustering these near the canal, we're making sure this area feels active and vibrant, while also creating a clean break between our urban and recreational spaces. And yes, I'll be pulling out the Move It mod to make sure everything lines up perfectly, because let's face it, there's nothing worse than a crooked city block. between the urban blocks. I'm adding parking lot roads to give the area a realistic feel. Parking spaces not only provide functionality, but also act as natural dividers between sections of the build. By carefully aligning these roads and keeping them consistent, they help maintain the organized, clean aesthetic of the peninsula. I'm doing this because other parts of the peninsula won't be as organized and clean, and that way we're getting a more realistic and organic feel. These lots will also make the area more practical for residents and visitors, enhancing the overall immersion. As you can see, I couldn't get the alignment of the blocks right, so I have to move the blocks a smidge to get everything to fit in. I think that turned out pretty good. We're going to detail the surfaces around these blocks later. Before we move on to the heart of the peninsula, I want to extend the center parking lot road to create parking for the central area as well. I'm also placing some more roads to frame the beach side of the peninsula. These roads will give access to the last urban promenades block, the hotel, the UK town centre shops, and the UK flats, as well as giving access to the paths in the park. Every building on this peninsula will have a quick access to both parks. At the heart of the peninsula, we're designing a large park that will serve as the centerpiece of this community. Parks are essential for breaking up dense urban areas and providing a place for relaxation and recreation. I'm placing a plaza in the middle of the park to act as a focal point, surrounded by paths that connect it to nearby buildings and roads. I considered the small park as too tiny for this area, but the plaza fitted perfectly. I wish there were more parks in this game, but we can always make some of our own. It takes a bit more time, but makes everything more interesting. We're going to detail the park later on to make it look like it's always been there. We also need to finish up the basic road network and lay down another piece of asphalt towards the lighthouse. We might have to make some tiny adjustments to the terrain to fit in a road behind the last block of urban promenades. Now, there's still more buildings to fit in here before we can start detailing, and we're going to kick things off with the lodging. This UK hotel is a white pearl and fits perfectly into this area where we're mixing building styles. Look at that masterpiece. It's like blending tradition with modernity, and this hotel nails that balance. It will sit right in front of the plaza in the park, offering breathtaking views both front and back. Guests will enjoy the serenity of the plaza in one direction and the charm of the beach in the other. I can already picture it becoming a hot spot for residents and tourists alike. We'll definitely use that building more in Bramblewick. The UK town centre shops are perfectly placed to tie everything together. Sitting close to the park with a convenient parking lot road right in front, they're designed to be accessible and practical. Just a short walk away, a pathway leads straight to the beach, offering stunning seaside views and an easy connection for visitors. And let's not forget their prime location next to the UK hotel, creating a seamless blend of leisure and charm. This setup isn't just about function, it's about creating a flow. Whether it's a quick coffee before heading to the park, shopping after a beach stroll, or grabbing a meal on the way back to the hotel, these shops anchor the community. We're adding a small parking lot right in front of the shops to give even easier access for everyone. All right, we need some height and we need some more residential buildings around here. The UK flats, 4 of them. Height is not the only reason we're adding them. They look beautiful and they can fit in so many environments and so many purposes. We're adding them in a way that we can detail around and between them to make a more realistic look. We're also adding pathways around the peninsula to give pedestrians easy access to everything. The pathways will also add access to the beach we're building later.
Beach? What beach? The only thing I don't want you to do is messing with the coastline on the other side of the Azurvale. Leave it as it is.
Well, I'm sorry, Jean-Claude, no can do. The beach is happening whether you like it or not. All right, we're ready to take on the first park detailing. We're expanding the plaza and plopping some trees and bushes. I got 4 simple steps when I detail and create custom parks, and I'll share them with you right now. The steps can easily be adjusted to fit your building style and preferences. 1. Shape the parks with the surroundings. The buildings, roads, and everything around the park is shaping the park. 2. Use paths to further shape the structure. Paths are a perfect way to break up the surfaces. 3. Be sober with the vegetation. Don't go crazy, but create vegetation of different heights. Group trees and bushes together to create clusters. That looks more realistic. 4. Use surfaces, and even different surfaces, maybe separated by paths, to create contrast in the park. Now we're going to plop down our last buildings on the Azurvale Peninsula. We're back to Urban Promenade's assets, and this time it's some beautiful assets within that old style UK look that fits perfectly into this build, and especially by the beach. Yeah, Jean-Claude, I know, but we're doing the beach. Again, I'm using Move It to place the buildings perfectly, and I'm making a block out of it. It just feels so much better as a block than by themselves or in a line. We need another road in the back of the block to give access to city service vehicles for all the buildings in the block. The peninsula is starting to take shape, and I think this is a promising start to this project. We got a lot more work to do, and I believe we haven't heard the end of the arguing between Lancaster and Kamakis. I'm not sure it will be over by the end of this episode, but let's hope so. We're doing the beach. The beach. Yes, Jean-Claude, we're doing the beach. Using Sully's sand surfaces, we're able to bring in the sand for the whole beachfront. I'm going to finish this quickly. We're speeding it up for some detailing. We're smoothing out the sharp surface's edges with some beach decals from the mighty Sully. I'm going to lay down some surfaces, and we're speeding up while I do it. All right, I'm happy with how this turned out, and I'm happy with the detailing. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Something missing? We need to get some more parking for the beach, and I was planning on some roadside parking. I was thinking, as I think every city builder should do, about what I would have liked to have here. And parking is one of the main features that makes the beach available for everyone. I'm going to cover one of these roads and the pathways with some cobblestone to get a more authentic look. All right, we got ourselves some boulders by the lighthouse, some nice custom parks, and some new surfaces here and there. The beach is almost done as well. I'm going to spend some more time on surfaces, and we're going to do the urban promenades blocks to make them shine. Choosing the type of surface to cover the ground around these blocks is easy. I really would like some natural stone. I've removed the vanilla surfaces and we're ready to make it our own. I could have just used the area bucket here to cover the whole block, but it feels really bad, so I prefer to make it a little less uncomfortable. I'm finishing up the surfaces here almost lightning fast. Then we're moving on to the UK flats to get some road access to all the buildings there. Let's try to make the UK flats look okay and get some road access to the last building. I tried to make the building connect to the existing road network, but it wasn't possible, so I'm laying down another road and we'll just try to make it beautiful. That looks good enough for now. I just have to fix the cobblestone surfaces. They look terrible. All right, that's the end of the Peninsula build. We're moving inwards. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This area really needs a fire station. We're out of space on the Azurvale Peninsula, so we have to move inwards to make room for it. I'm choosing the Urban Promenade's fire station. I think it got great aesthetics and fits perfectly into this area. The plan for the space next to the fire station is simply to bring in more UK hotels. In my opinion, putting multiple versions of the hotel together will tie the peninsula to the Isle area and make it look like both areas have been there forever. The fire station needs some road access for the fire trucks to be able to get out there. Some might argue that the fire station should be facing the regular two-lane two-way road with parking on both sides, and not an alley road leading up to another big parking lot road. But I'm considering the traffic on the alleyway leading up to the fire station to be non-existing, and the fire trucks will have easier access to the parking lot road with no parking on the fire station side. The orientation weighs in higher here as well, as I really want the garages to face the big parking lot road with parking on one side only. To me, it feels more realistic. We're having a hard time finding enough parking in this area. Until we can get a proper public transit system, we need to provide enough parking options. I'm going to try a construction and a layout I've never tried before, and I'm pretty excited to see the results. It's not that it's so special, but it might not be the most realistic thing I've ever built. Let's just see how it turns out. I'm creating 2 alley roads for access to the parking lot, and for some guideline when I draw the parking lot road. Actually, that looks pretty nice. It's not that unrealistic either. We need some details on and around this monument, and then we're moving on to the police station. All right, the police station. It's going to sit in one of the last open spaces in this area. We might need to do some small adjustments to the hospital and parking, but it's going to fit well when it's done. The type of police station is not a hard decision. The modern architecture police station is a perfect match for this area. I'm going to fix the orientation. It works a lot better when oriented towards the countryside road. think that looks nice. Everyone heading for the Azurvale Peninsula will drive or walk past this police station feeling safe and secure. We don't need an investigating team, but with all the investments we've done in this build, it wouldn't feel complete without it. We can even make a park with a path in between the police station and the hospital. Even though we didn't have a clear plan for every inch of this build, it feels like everything is just falling into place. And that's a pretty good feeling. All right, time to take on the last available space in this area. This is where we're going to fit in some UK hotels. The shape of the space is a bit odd, so we're going to have to use Move It to make it look good enough. Maybe perfect. Sometimes perfect is not the enemy of good. We're laying down some surfaces and we'll try to make the area around the hotels look natural and beautiful. If we use the UK hotels in the similar style, we can fit in 3 different sizes here: 2-star, 3-star, and 5-star hotels. I want the hotels to follow the pedestrian street, but that might be a problem later on. Let me just place them down and see what it looks like. I'm not completely sure where to draw the hedges to surround the hotel area. I think the best way to make this look natural is to change orientation and give vehicles easy access to all the hotels. I really want a roundabout here just as an eye candy. It will look so much better with a cul-de-sac at the end of this road. It's looking better now. Let's try to draw some paths and see if we can make the surrounding areas nice. I honestly can't keep the hotel parking face the pedestrian street. We need to change the orientation here. That means we have to remove some of the paths. Let me fix the surfaces real quick and we'll try to make all the elements blend in together in the end. Okay, we're ready for some final hotel detailing. I'll plop down some trees and bushes and then we'll evaluate the final result. I won't be able to make up my mind about this until we get a park down in the corner. I imagine it will make a perfect view when our pedestrians leave the high-density canal walk, maybe for a rest and a snack too. Okay, I think that looks very nice. My evaluation, 7 out of 10. What's yours? Leave a comment down below to let me know. There's one more thing I would like this area to have. More parking in front of the fire station garages. In my opinion, parking lot roads will give us the better look here, but I'm not 100% sure. If you'd like another solution here, give me some feedback in the comments section. Let's just give this boring corner a makeover. In this episode, we have achieved a lot. We completed the Azurvale Peninsula with a beach, some parks, parking, and some beautiful buildings. We gave the district a new fire station and a police station. We laid down a lot of parking. And we finished the final part of the canal walk with what I call a beautiful hotel area. If you enjoyed watching, make sure you subscribe and like the video. And if you hated it, hit the dislike button. Either way, leave a comment to let me know what you liked or disliked. Leave a comment and tell me what your next step in this city would be. We're closing down this episode with some cinematics of what we have done. Until next time, take care and so on.